Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of White Album 2. So we are continuing to read The Snow Melts and Until It Falls Again. And yeah, I'm probably not going to make any intros and outros during this, I think. I will just try to read as much as possible, and like in between episodes I will do just fade outs or something. I'm not sure. Maybe I will do actually outros and intros because some stuff might need like more discussion, but we'll see. Anyway, let's continue the story. Chapter 1 actually. First chapter. Spring. Toma. She's been dreaming. The worst kind of nightmare. Memories she never wanted to think of again, rushing one after another through her brain like the revolting lantern. Toma. Hey, I'm sorry, but did you wake up for a second? But waking had never been a pleasant thing for her, and Kazusa's heart was frightened enough that she felt furious, even at the one she should be thanking for calling out to her and waking up her from the nightmare. Granted, for the past several years she had never been capable of anything as admirable as facing another with a good will. Okay. Shifted her face to find an uniformed male student looking sharply at her with the wide eyes. Introduction of Haruki? Maybe? At least his expression was stiff enough for her to be able to interpret it that way. The fact that her present word was 2 years after the dream. Her present was 2 years after. Oh, so we have like 2-year time skip. So we are in nowadays. It's like just like within the realms of like the game itself, I guess. It's slightly before, but it's still like within the realm that we know now. Okay. The fact that she was currently a third-year regular course classroom, the fact that it was the 6th period now, based on the noise around her, the school day had probably ended already. All of those facts streamed into her head, bringing her back to reality. So this is like nowadays, like kinda, but it's before Haruki actually made any influence on her. Yet. Okay. However, as aforementioned male student was simply standing there, frozen, Kazusa took advantage of the moment and laid her head back on the desk. Sorry. You are Toma Kazusa, right? Only to be raised again immediately, after souring her mood even further. Her physical state aside, the dream had left her in a rotten place mentally, and with this flimsy wake-up call on top of it, she finally turned to face the student, making no effort whatsoever to hide her temper. You haven't been attending school since the opening ceremony, right? Are you feeling okay? Huh? Her first impression of him really there wasn't much of an impression to get. Okay, so she's surprised because this is like Haruki's probably the first person that actually cared about her. Like, she like dismissed everyone, and for such a long time she forgotten that anyone can be kind to her or like worry about her. And he was like, yeah, are you feeling okay? Like, you are not doing great. Huh. Okay. Wasn't much of the impression. Unremarkable height, unremarkable build, unremarkable hairstyle, unremarkable looks. This word is so hard to pronounce. Why you use it so many times? Oh my god. Here, textbooks for all your classes. Student ID, various applications forms. They are sorted based on how near the deadline is. Wow. So even back then he was like giving her like stuff. Like I mean, he's been in like, he was like student council mood, right? Like representative back then. Yeah, we remember the beginning of the White Album, he did like something similar, I believe. Like he brought her like textbooks or something, or... Oh no, the card for like future, basically where she wants to go for like university or something. He pestered her to like actually make one. Because of the deadline. Yeah, okay. True. The single thing that distinguished him was that, unlike every other male student, the top button shirt of his shirt was down. Okay. Class hasn't progressed much during the time you've been away, but there's quite a lot of forms to be filled out, and his initial glare vanished, and she could tell that he was showing this calm, friendly, concerned attitude in an effort to make her drop her guard. But he didn't stop looking straight into her eyes. Kazusa had barely even made an eye contact with others, so the uncomfortable feeling was unshakable. Also, here, I grabbed a copy of the student. Discount application for you. You are in. It was as a show, so you are. So you accommodate by train, right? Huh. Okay. So they have like cheaper like tickets for trains if you're like far away. I guess this is like kinda normal practice. Kinda. I don't know if many schools do this. Never breaking eye contact, he peeled the book after book and bundles of paper on her desk. Yeah, she could be so irritated by that. Now, make absolutely sure you don't forget this one. The parent gathering flyer. It starts next week, so give it to your guardian sometime today. Guardian. Yeah, like, she doesn't have any guardian at this point, right? Like, I think like she actually fired the woman that was like making like cleaning and stuff, the one that was hired by Yoko, right? I think like Kazusa fired her or something. I don't remember exactly, but I think it happened. So she lives alone and have no guardian basically at this point. I would have preferred to deliver it straight to your house, but I got busy with some other stuff, sorry about that. The way he unwittingly struck a sore spot got on her nerves. He probably thought himself gentle and kind with his pushiness, but Kazusa had enough of this, and those on-the-spot apologies, which served only to further that pushiness, ticked her off even more. In other words, she didn't like a single thing about the boy in front of her. Okay, so quite not okay relation in the beginning. So how did he make you warm up to him? Is this pushiness actually you started to accept his pushiness basically? Because he will not give up with his role of like perfect student and what you are supposed to do as a student? Do you have any questions so far? I will answer anything I can. In response to this boy who said one thing after another to further her irritation, Kazusa only shook her head in silence. In her early days here, she had snapped at everything she didn't like. Now, with all that she learned in the past 2 years, it was too much of the bother. Okay, 2 years, so we have, yeah, this is 2-year time skip from the prologue. I see. That's good. Now then. Now I will explain how to fill out these forms. First we have to just fill out the form. Jesus. Yeah. Kazusa was like really like happy, like, oh my god, yes, he's finally going away. And he's like, yeah, now I will help you like fill them. Good job. And yet this shameless boy took Kazusa's generous compromise all too literally, as though she had said, no problem, go ahead. What's the matter? Ink. Huh? You're annoying. He was really annoying. This is something that happened in the White Album, early in the White Album 2. I mean, like, Kazusa always like making silent noises at the beginning, like just we hear like the end and then it's like annoying. Yeah, anyway. She had finally managed to stop flinching her negative emotions on others, even if her reason was something basic and uninspiring, like arguing. It's too much of a bother. The fact was that as a result, she had managed to avoid discord with those around her. Okay, I get that's a lot, but this is important. If you find me annoying, you will find that memorizing all of this is the fastest way to get rid of me. Haruki is just amazing here. Also, yeah, I hope that you are not being confused by who's speaking what. I might be at some point confused, but we'll see. For now, it's fine. I mean, you can clearly see who's speaking what. Like, they have like two different, like, total personalities. And actually, Kazusa is just dotting, so. And yet, who did this tactless, high-handed, and insolent guy think he was? Oh, right. This is our first meeting. I'm Kitahara Haruki. I'm the class representative for the Class E during this first term. Yeah, thanks. No one asked for your name. You've had to look on your face that reads, "Who the hell are you?" for a while now. Nice. So yeah, I will just introduce myself. I mean, perfect sense. She didn't even know his name. No, he had just told her. But she had no intention of remembering it. Well, you seem to remember it very well later. Are you still feeling under the weather after all? Do you want to go to infirmary? I will go with you. Don't touch me. Huh? No, I haven't actually touched you yet. She was like that in... Oh, wait. Isn't this... Wait, that was in the game, right? This part. Wait. Am I replaying actually like from visual novel? I remember there was something like this. Or I'm just mistaken. Was there like some backstory sequence when she was doing... I remember that text, "Don't touch me." I think it was in the backstory. We had in visual novel at their first meeting. We had this, right? Ah. What does in... I haven't touched you yet, yeah. What does insignificant roadside pebble trying to make itself an obstacle in her life? Even though it's not large, sharp, or even on the road itself. Kazusa could feel the anger well up in her for the first time in a long time. I think like this is the same situation like from the visual novel, but we have like more context from Kazusa's perspective, how she thinks and feels about this whole situation. We didn't have that one, I think. Kazusa could feel anger well up in her for the first time in a long time. Alright, we can do this later. Oh, in case, could you take this home with you after school? Don't touch me! Before she knew it, she exceeded her limit. Yeah, I feel like we had this in the novel. Around the time, the warm spring sun had begun to set, steadily bringing in a chill that served as a reminder that the winter had just ended. Kazusa exited the school gates alone. Her expression retained the heat of her earlier anger, and her tightly drawn mouth and narrowed eyes, coupled with the bridge of her nose, produced a sense of sharp, unapproachable beauty. Okay. Of course, the people who passed by her, gave her a wild breath, had no way of knowing that what had given rise to this frightening beauty was something so ridiculously childish. his damn fault. When Kazusa had stormed out of the classroom, almost slamming against the door, everyone, including him, only stared at her in silence over her sudden violent outburst. It was a scene that hadn't played out often enough in the music program classroom that she had been until last year, but it wasn't something Kazusa had meant to happen this year. At this rate, she didn't even know anymore why she transferred into the regular program. Kazusa had wanted to start anew, in a new class, where she knew no one, and no one knew her, to live monotonous school life, and if possible even graduate. But her first day in the program went just as poorly as usual. And also, just as usual, Kazusa fell into despair. Yeah, just switching classes will not erase your past and how you generally, your general perspective on society. It's not just going to change, like it's easy to say like it's going to be a new start, but it needs more than just saying that you need, like, you know, like start anew. We're still affected by everything so far. In the end, nothing had changed. In the closed-off ward of Hojo High School, there was not a single person who would understand her, acknowledge her, and leave her alone like she wanted. When put it, I mean, you know, leave her alone like she wanted. Ironically, if she would actually engage with people, like, you know, like actually talk to them and stuff, then they would know that she would like to be alone, like left alone, and they would leave her alone. But when she's like actually behaving like having some problems and stuff, then there will be people like Haruki that will just, you know, walk to her and ask if she's okay and try to help her. So closing off is basically making leave her alone not possible. Especially when she have like these like outbursts as well. Because clearly something is wrong with her. And people are like worried, at least some. When putting it that way, it's obvious that anyone it's obvious to anyone that the friction between her and her surroundings was something she had brought on herself. But since Kazusa didn't count herself as anyone, she kept repeating the same mistake, as if they were yearly tradition. It had already been 2 years since she looked up at the sky on the day of the entrance ceremony. Toma Kazusa still hated the sky. I keep forgetting. God damn it. Let me check. I keep forgetting this. Who was sky and who was snow? Oh wait, covered by snow, and I said that was covered by Setsuna. Okay, yeah, snow is Setsuna, sky is Kazusa. So, like, winter. Not sky. The winter. Winter is Kazusa and snow is Setsuna. I don't know when, but I started to associate Kazusa with sky. She only told us, like, I mean, you told me that, like, you know, her, like, I mean, yeah, okay. Sorry, I don't know what I want to say anymore. I just got too much. I started to associate her with sky, so basically I think, like, she's looking at the sky and thinking as the safe hatred, like, I hate myself, basically. That's what I wanted to say, in short. I don't know why I started to associate Kazusa with sky, when she should be associated with winter. I guess I think of winter sky. Anyway, she always hated the spring sky, decorated with thin clouds, and this is actually spring sky, so makes even less sense for me. I mean, from my perspective and viewpoint. But yeah, this is just me overthinking. She hated the teachers, the students, everyone and everything around her. She had reason enough to hate every single thing that might enter her field of vision, and that's why Toma Kazusa hated the overfamiliar male student more than anything. There were 3 music rooms in the Hojo High School. Music room 1 in the main school building was used for the regular program's music classes during the day and for the music club school after school. Music room 3 in the new building was occupied exclusively by the music program through the day, and with its location so far removed from the regular program, regular students never went near it. And then there was a music room 2. This place next to music room 1 was used by the music program class that they were still based in the main building. Presently, it was not used for any classes or club activities, so it was locked all day round. Okay. It was locked all day round, so back then she was not using the piano, it seems. She had no access to this room. Or she decided to not play piano, because we remember 2 years before this, she started hating piano. So I think she even said she had, like, before competition, right? She had 2 years break. I forgot about this. Yeah, I forgot about the time period. In the game, like before the last competition we had in the visual novel, she said she didn't practice for 2 years, and that was a good place for her, as she did not practice for 2 years. Yeah, okay, now it makes sense. It would have been perfectly reasonable to allow some of the various musical clubs to use it after school, but there was no reason. Neither the students nor the teachers raised a fuss about it. It had nothing to do with some urban legends or a ghost story, but rather as a result of the various misunderstandings and opinions about the room. The regular program students assumed that the room was still reserved for the music program, as it had once been. The music program students no longer saw any value in the existence of the room, and the teachers avoided the subject of the room current user. Today, yet again, the tones of the piano rang out from the closed music room to... Okay, never mind, so she actually does play piano. But she said she started hating piano. I'm a little bit confused. I thought we were going to have some backstory here on what happened that she started playing again. But it's not the case. So... I wonder if she have mixed feelings while she's in that room playing this piano, because if you think about this, she does not hate her mother, right? She made it clear, she decided to hate everything else, so she doesn't hate her mother. But at the same time, she hates music, she hates piano. And this piano was donated here by her mother. So she's playing the piano. She's hating playing, but at the same time she's not hating her mother. It's keeping her in balance, maybe. So it's a tranquility state for her, kinda. She hated and laugh at the same time. I don't know if she loves her mother at this point, but she doesn't hate her. I don't know. The opening ceremony was in a week time. Even now, in her 3rd year, having transferred into the regular program, Kazusa inhabited this classroom whenever during or after school, the master of the music room 2. The guitar solo from Forbidden Games floated in the wind, wavering its way through the gaps between the piano notes. Guitar solo from Forbidden Games. Is this the... No, this is not the thing that Haruki played later, right? Or is it? What Haruki played? I forgot the title of that song. You can remind me, if you are watching this. In spring, 2 years ago, when Kazusa was first brought here, it was truly a day to be commemorated. Okay. She had chased out her teacher and taken exclusive ownership of the room, making definite her own assessment of herself as the audacious problem child who uses her parent fame and donations as the shield to hide behind. Okay, yeah. I can see why they think that. Yep, makes perfect sense. She definitely gives that vibe here at that point. Since then, that classroom became a taboo subject, even to those involved, and the grand piano worth no less than 3 million yen that Kazusa's mother donated became her own personal plaything. Kazusa never returned the key to the classroom, choosing to come here, to come and go at her own leisure, spending countless hours playing the piano and countless other instruments scattered around the classroom. The guitar moved on to yesterday. Wait, what? Oh, other instruments, okay. So, yeah, she have like a bunch of other instruments in this room. Okay. I somehow didn't realize that she had like a lot of instruments in this room. Like, I know that she had a lot of instruments in her house, but I never thought that in this classroom she had different instruments. I think I might have just forgotten about this. Maybe they mentioned that. Since the competition 2 years ago, Kazusa had never stood on stage as the pianist. In fact, after that day, Kazusa stopped enjoying playing the piano. Yep, we remember that, like I said. And so, this was neither practice nor recreation. It was simply a force of habit. Okay. She didn't aim to improve her technique, worry about any mistakes, or lament the rustiness of her skill. She merely played without thinking. Or perhaps she played to avoid thinking. This is sad as hell. Wow. Wow. This is like she's using piano as like drinking your problems away. Holy crap. She hates playing piano, but she's still doing that because this is the only thing she feels like she's good at, probably. And like, it's just something she can do without thinking because she's so good at this. So she can just like forget about her worries. You know, just like disable your brain and just like start playing. Even though she doesn't enjoy it anymore. Oh wow. She played with her whole heart and soul to erase every distasteful, painful and sorrowful memory from her mind. Yep. And also meant that all the fun and happy memories were erased all the same. Yep, like I said, she just like stopped thinking entirely. But that was not worth worrying about. Nothing fun or happy had happened to her recently anyway. The guitar moved onto the White Album. Oh, for God's sake! Wait, but isn't this... This is Haruki playing White Album in the next room, right? Oh, for God's sake. However, that day Kazu slammed the piano keys in frustration, as if she had forgotten to not think about anything. Of course, her frustration did not stem from her own skill. You are so crappy. She simply couldn't stand how unskilled the guitar sounds flowing through the window were. God damn it. She snapped on Haruki, even without knowing that it's him. She had been hearing that sound every evening the past few days. Once the wind ensembled the choir had finished their practice, there was a single person who stayed behind in music room 1, his fumbling guitar solo overlapping with Kazusa's smooth piano. Wow. Honestly, it was beyond annoying. It was probably some first year student who decided to pick up the guitar to form a band, but the lack of technique and talent was unbearable for Kazusa, who had been blessed with both since birth. It had started to take a toll on her own performance, and the sense that the sound were fleeting from her fingertips was sapping Kazusa's will to keep performing. I'm going home. The guitar continued stumbling through the White Album. Kazusa put her hands over her ears, absolutely determined not to hear any more of that racket, and hurriedly left the building. I didn't knew that was that bad. Oh my god, Kazusa being tortured in her own room. God damn it, Haruki. How bad were you? Okay. Along the way home, she made up her mind to soothe her exhausted brain by giving it a massive amount of sugar, of course. Of course. Tama Kazusa loved pudding. Wait, not burgers? Actually, she loved everything sweet, not just pudding. Okay. She didn't even know whenever it was because she had inherited her own mother's enormous sweet tooth, or whenever it was a result of her mother being the one who fed her. So she gave you diabetes basically. But this childish palate had never changed, forcing a fearsome battle with her dental health to unfold. I can imagine that. Well, no, there had been one little change, okay? An astonishing change. She had become even more devoted to sweet things than she had been before. Huh. Why though? Understandably, she avoided spicy things, which she had never liked in the first place. But recently, her tastes had come to repel bitter and sour things as well, and hot things and cold things, for that matter, had largely been removed, further narrowing her food options from the list that was already lacking in variety. I'm trying to think if, like, anything that Haruki made for her, like, to eat was one of the foods that she doesn't like, but she ate it anyway. I mean, she said, like, porridge or something when she was ill that was horrible, I guess. Anyway, ice cream gave way to cake and pudding, lemon tea to milk tea, and she stopped drinking carbonated drinks and fruit juice. What are you eating then? Or drinking? I mean, I'm drinking mostly water, to be honest. And coffee. But yeah. Her one special exception was coffee. Perfection. But even that was most likely a front put on for her surroundings. If she didn't disguise it with a heap of sugar or creamer, her throat couldn't handle the bitterness and heat. I'm not using sugar like on anything. I mentioned this in probably different visual novel walkthrough I do. I don't know if you watched that, but I pretty much, if I have to like sweet something, if I want to do something sweet, like a tea, then I use honey, if anything. I don't like using sugar much. Sometimes maybe somewhere once a year I will use sugar, but I'm pretty much not used to sugar at all. I used to like have like 2 spoons of sugar to my tea and stuff, but it changed. It changed and I'm basically not using it anymore. At present, Kazusa herself paid no mind to what was apparently a simple change in preferences. But if a counselor or psychiatrist were to examine her, they might have realized that the darkness in her heart was having a serious impact on her plate. Yep, like, depression's a bitch. Without realizing it, Kazusa's brain had been screaming for the long time. Screaming out that at least her palate should go on without any stimulation. Screaming out that at least her tongue can avoid pain. This is hard. She's under such an immense mental stress that it shows up physically even. It's like, I'm in such a big pain that maybe let's just make eating not painful. Make it sweet so I can like sweet my life. Holy crap, Kazusa's... Oh wow, this is terrible. Oh, I don't like this. This suck. Okay, another one of those. Okay, coming up right up. Now indifferent to those signs goes down to her second pudding. Pudding. And calmly ordered a third. Pudding was her favorite food, regardless of type, ingredients or price. But pudding listed on the recommendations menu at this restaurant goodies in Minami Setsugu was her number one. Because compared to an... Wait, were we wrong this whole time? Wait. So it's not about burgers, it's about puddings? Wait, we were wrong the whole time? Or did she start liking burgers later? Because this is still... Yeah, this is still not the time for burgers. For now, she's like sweetening her life with puddings, I guess. Burgers later. Okay, I think. Yeah, makes sense. She's not in mood for burgers yet. Because compared to anywhere else, the pudding here was so sweet and flavorful that any first-time customer would ask themselves why such a thing would even be on the recommended menu. Then right, as Kazusa was bringing the final bite to her mouth with a feisty, blissful expression that no one would ever see from her at school. Like, I'm telling you, you don't have to think that hard about it, we're just going to hang out. Okay. Who's that? From right behind her, voices reaches her, voices she had heard just recently somewhere. What's this about? You never even said a word to me until second year. Izuka-kun? Well, you know, Yui-chan, you were dating Takada, weren't you? Wait. Takada is... okay, first of all, Yui is the one that made Haruki's club room basically getting divorced with everyone. Takada is the... Takada is Takeya? I don't remember... I don't know who's the Izuka-kun, I think. Takada, I think it's Takeya. Takada, no. So what to me until the second year, Izuka-kun. I don't know. Who are these people? I think Yui-chan is the one that like broke the music club room. So one is this one the Takeya? Is Takeya here? Okay, I will just read. Because I had my eye on you, it came as a pretty big shock after I found out that you had a boyfriend. Nothing of the same show lines she had heard somewhere before. That set her teeth on the edge. Okay. I see. Now that you've got your hands on the latest scoop that we broke up, you're sharp. Also turned her head carefully so the speakers wouldn't notice and found a couple dressed in Hojo school uniforms chatting lightheartedly. Kazusa guess was half right. She recognized the boy. Okay. Who? Takeya? What? So you thought that was your chance? You thought I would just flip it on someone else's arms? If you want to leap it on my arms, by all means feel free. Yep, that's Takeya. Okay, yep, okay. This guy is Takeya, 100%. Like I'm convinced now. This is Takeya. Oh my god. And if I told you I'm not that easy, an opportunity, just my powers of persuasion, more than welcome. You are good at this. Izuka-kun, I guess. So Takeya Izuka? Izuka Takeya? I don't remember, but sounds like Takeya. I've heard also all sorts of stuff from Sawa-chan. Okay, so his previous girlfriend, I guess. Well, why don't we see whatever of any of this is true? A slender build, unruly light brown hair, and wheedling voice, and Stone brought back yesterday memory vividly. It was the boy who had presently struck around her on her way home yesterday. Yep, that's TAKEYA. 100% that's TAKEYA. Thomas-san from Class E, right? Yeah, okay, I just forgot his fucking surname. Or like name, actually, that's his name, right? No, TAKEYA's name, surname is this, like Izuka, Leizuka, I don't know. I'm Izuka TAKEYA from Class G. Maybe you've heard of me? Or perhaps you know Haruki then? Kitahara Haruki, the guy who sits next to you? Oh my god. I'm a friend of his, he told me about you. So I decided to talk to you because I'm interested in getting to know you. Jesus. Oh, we have more TAKEYA, so good. I have to admit it, I'm surprised. I didn't know we had any girls of your level in our year. Man, I should have my card revoked for not noticing you. Where are you headed? Why don't we go grab some tea, if you've got a minute? Oh, and I don't really mean anything deeply by that, just wanna chat a little. Huh, okay. Very shy type, I see. It's just like totally ignoring him. Oh my god. You weren't a music program until last year, right? We don't get a lot of people transferring to the regular program. By the way, are you related to Tomoyoko at all? It sounded like the guy was ready to keep on yammering at her like that forever, but Kazusa had to stop him there. Yeah, she doesn't want to like be reminded of this. With a sharp roundhouse kick. Good job. Didn't TAKEYA actually mentioned once that Kazusa kicked him and we never got explanation what exactly happened? So now we know why he got kicked by Kazusa. Yeah. Huh. Well, if you promise it won't be the two of us, I will think about it. Okay, fine. I love a big fan group. How about it then? Sometime during the Golden Week? I forgot what the Golden Week was. That was mentioned in one of the like side stories of Umineko, I believe. But I forgot what kind of event is that. I forgot. Also, I'm a little bit confused about this part here. One second. So she kicked him and now we are back to present, or this is still that? If you promise it won't be just two of us, I will think about it. I love big fan group. But today he seems to be getting a response with far more potential than yesterday catch. Okay, so he got kicked yesterday by Kazusa and this is current conversation he have. So Yui said, "She'll think about it?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And then she proposed like a date or like big group event during the Golden Week. Okay, I get this. Okay. So this is before the club room got destroyed, basically. So Yui is dating, almost dating, maybe TAKEYA. And everything went terrible after this. Okay. But today, he seems to get a... Yeah, okay. And the girl sitting across from him, the wrong half of Kazusa's guess. Somehow she assumed she didn't know, but in fact sat 2 seats ahead of her. Had a lively bounce in her voice, showing that she was enjoying clashing verbal swords with him. In other words, there was clearly a spark. Okay. So, on the 3rd, how about 10 o'clock that morning, in front of the Minamagisu Getsu at the ticket gate? Okay, I will find someone to invite along and I'll call you when I've decided. Okay, great, let's swap numbers. I'm a little bit confused who says what. This is TAKEYA probably, this is Yui, and this is TAKEYA, I think. Now both uncomfortable and in a bad mood after being forced to hear a shallow boy-girl conversation like this, Kazusa resigned herself to moving somewhere else and stood up slowly so the two of them wouldn't spot her. Really? Kitahara-kun? I'm not so sure about him. Okay. So maybe this was Yui, this is Takeya, this is Yui, and this is Yui. Takeya just said like, yeah, I will invite Haruki. Okay. And that name, with which she had become so familiar lately, froze her there. Why? Kitahara-kun, he's a class rep, right? She was forced to hear the name to the second day in a row. Oh, interesting! I think I know where this is going. I think I know where this is going. It's like, she's going to hear that people secretly, like, actually disliking Haruki and want to detach him from, like, friends and stuff because he's the class rep, so they think like he's like uptight and like, you know, yeah, that will not be fun to hang around with him, and she will feel like we are kind of similar. I mean, totally different, but kind of like, you know, there's like something that can like collide within their circumstances, I guess. The first boy who spoken to her in the class, the tactless, pushy class rep. The only classmate who still insisted on talking to her, even though she decided to isolate herself. The friend of the shallow guy she was seeing here. This niche who sold her out to him. Why do you think this? What? He just talked to Takeya about what he was doing probably and talked about you. There's nothing to snitch about. Like you're literally in his class. Wow, you have issues. The embodiment of noseness, who dug up the fact that she was originally in the music program and Chama's Yoka daughter to boot. The nasty calculating scumbag who approached her precisely because he knew. Not really, but okay, this is what she thinks. Why he approached her. All of Kazusa's anger collected around that perfectly remembered name, Kitahara Haruki, even more than it did around the guy in front of her. Her very first impression of him remained. This is all his damn fault. Yeah, I can't think of any girl who wants to invite him. Why? Something's wrong with him? I mean, you get my meaning, don't you? Wow, this is like, yes, I know very well. So, you, like, Takeya is like, defending Haruki. Yui is like, yeah, you know why no one wants to like invite him, and basically Kazusa is agreeing with Yui here. He's not bad looking though, right? Don't worry, I will do something about the clothes. Nah, he looks fine, but isn't he annoying? Yeah, apparently annoying. Like, he just randomly showed up at my house the other day. He said he'd look me up in the address book. Yep, that sounds like him. Holy crap. You were absent from school today, or did you forget something? Well, yeah, okay, I was absent. I was at the big concert at the night before. He was probably coming to check you up then. Yep. Yeah, but what about showing consideration? Yep, that guy fatally lacking when it comes to showing restraints around others. Did he come in? Did he force you to make tea for him? No, he went right home, but like... Yes, but... his extreme interference on other people's lives produced nothing but loathing. Okay, sorry, something came up, I'm gonna go... Huh? At that moment, the words she had been muttering to herself unconsciously fell out of her mouth. Interesting! Takeya managed to like successfully defend Haruki from both of them. I mean, yeah, Haruki's like uptight and like he's in the role of the like class representative and like is like doing everything he can to like, you know, provide notes, asking out absences and stuff, but he's not like forcing himself into your life. You know, he's just doing his job basically. Huh. Good points. At that moment, well, yeah, okay. Because the smooth feather lightness of his speech had suddenly taken on an unpleasant weight. Here's my part of the bill. I had fun today. I'll be going now. Wait, Izaki-kun. Okay, wait, what? So, okay, I was wrong. Wait. He did, yeah, he protected him, but right on, but like this is Yui. So sorry, something came up. I'm gonna go. Is Takeya saying? Takeya just left her here. Wait, what? Takeya been the one who just like stood up. Wow. I'm kind of surprised. So he chose basically friendship to Haruki instead of like having relationship with the girl that like dislikes Haruki. Interesting. Best friend ever. He couldn't handle the Haruki slander. Here's my part of the bill. I had fun. I will be going now. Okay. Wait, Izaki-kun? The girl made a slightly frustrated attempt to stop him, perhaps having picked up on the same weight that Kazusa had noticed. We hadn't settled everything for the hangout yet. Who's gonna be there? Oh, that's right. What do you mean, all that right? Sorry, I have a lot on my plate that day. See you next time. Whoa! Okay. Okay, Takeya. You kinda earn my respect here in this conversation. But he clearly had no interest in listening to what she had to say anymore. What are you so mad about? Listen, eh? You've only been in the same class for a couple of weeks. Don't talk about Haruki like you know him. That. Oh, this hits like Kazusa at the same time. She doesn't know him at all. Hell yeah. I love this. Okay. Takeya once again provides to be the best character. God damn it. Best friend ever. Let's go. What did I think about? Seriously, what he was talking about? Wasn't Haruki the weird one for going to visit someone he'd only been classmates with for a couple of weeks just because she missed a day? At least wait until you know him for the half year before you judge him. Bye. Holy crap, I love this. But if you think about this, this is like, if Yui is actually the one that like made the music lab room like got like destroyed basically. I don't remember if that was her name, but I will assume that. So this situation basically made the music room to like the music club to break up, fall apart because of this. So she destroyed the music room in spite to Takeya, I guess, and Haruki. Wait, hang on. Izaki-kun, you're acting completely different from how you just were. Hey, wait a sec. Izaki-kun quickly walked right past Kazusa. But even though Kazusa was sitting right there, he didn't notice her. He just left the restaurant with a dry look on his face, as if he had completely lost interest in the other girl. For that reason, Kazusa couldn't take her eyes off him, because some part of her felt irrationally as if that condescending look was directed at her. What the hell was that? Is he dumb or something? Wow. No, you are dumb. The frustrated yell let loose by the deserted girl could have come from Kazusa one day before, because she was doing nothing more than representing Kazusa's own impression. The words came out of her mouth were Kazusa's words. Therefore Kazusa understood. Now she experienced the same feeling. A blaze of humiliation and an overwhelming desire to run away, as if she had been doused with the cold water. Those were again the emotions brought about in her by that Kitahara Haruki, the class representative. Holy crap. So, it's not Haruki who made like her to like warm up to him. Takeya sparked that. Holy crap. Toma? She was dreaming. A strange dream that could be seen as either wonderful or terrible. She was an ant, drawing in the sweet honey. Toma? Hey, wake up. Released from her ultimate choice, life or sugar. Life or sugar. Kazusa wiped off the tears and saliva that had dribbled out and turned to face the one that brought her back to reality. Good morning. I'm sorry to see you here before the class starts. Okay, so yeah, we skipped to like next day. Ah, you almost said Haruki here. I swear. You called him by name. Almost. Interesting that she already... Maybe this is just the sound, like ha. But maybe she just wanted to say Haruki. Too early for that, I think. But who knows? You don't have to say that loudly. Yeah, she's just said that like ha. Okay, makes sense. That makes more sense. Oh, actually, never mind. God fucking... I should just read, really. It was a sigh. She was about to say Kitahara Haruki and hardly cut herself off. How many years had it been since she had last memorized someone's full name? Okay, wow. Wow. Also, yeah, she started with Haruki, not Kitahara. This is huge. Huh. Good morning, Toma. The bell's about to ring. Sit up. Her attempt to continue sleeping, even though she was being addressed, the way she belligerently stretched her attitude of zero interest, it was all a half bluff. She certainly didn't want to be interfered with or pried into any further, but even more than that, she didn't want anyone to figure out that she had taken a tiny bit of interest in this boy. Look, I'm sorry for waking you up, but career interest survey is due to the lunch today. I'll be collecting them for the teacher. I figured you would probably throughout the form, so here's a new one. I already filled in what I know, like your name. This is the situation we had in the White Album in the game, right? So we got to know what happened the day before, basically, this situation. Yeah, career survey. This is thing that we had in the... Okay, I think I have to skip this soundtrack though. I think I have to skip this soundtrack. 1 second. I think it may be copyrighted. Actually, I will just deal with this later if it's copyrighted. Anyway. Yeah, so this is the survey, so... Okay. We got a timeline now. We're back on tracks. Introductory chapter is here again. Battle meddling, cloying friendliness, transparent noisiness. Compared to Kazusa's previous experiences, this was the most similar to the ulterior motives of the adults who swarmed around her. No, rather Thomas' family status, fame and fortune. He don't give a fuck about your family status, fame and fortune. He's just doing stuff what like class representative is supposed to do. He's treating everyone equally, basically. Like, you are skipping school, I'm at your house. Basically. I want to look at what you write. I'll go straight. It will go straight to the envelope, and I won't take a peek. I won't look at what you write. It will go straight to the envelope, and I won't take a peek whatsoever. So please fill it out before lunch. And yet, Kazusa couldn't spot any sign of self-interest in his words or actions, which made her feel indescribably ill at ease. Okay, so she fell for Haruki because he's the first person in years that treated her as everyone else. He doesn't give a fuck about her like circumstances, why she's skipping, why she's like, you know, I don't know, sleeping, making enemies, like what's her backstory, is she famous? He's like, oh yeah, you are like daughter of like Yoko Toma, like who gives a fuck, you're a student. Okay, I see why she opens up to him. Okay. I can see why she opened up to him now. Yeah, okay. No, don't just roll it up, fill it properly. I'm not interested in this. As a result, she took an unintentionally defined attitude, defined in a way that was different a month ago. Lighter, not wholly rejecting his interference, yep. If you want, you can just write university, find employment, or just I haven't decided yet. The teachers say that you should at least write your current thoughts, or lack thereof. Besides, if you are so interested in bothering me, why don't you go collect anyone else's forms? I picked anyone else's forms up yesterday. Yours the last one. There were about 3 people absent yesterday, weren't they? Yeah, he just went to their houses. I gave them a phone call and picked the forms up their houses. They filled them out, even though they were sick. Stupid. As always, she was teasingly irritated by what he was doing, but strangely the school number one slacker for the rules held the admiration of the most frivolous guy at school. Kazusa still couldn't comprehend this contradiction, this close friendship between two of people with such polar opposite personalities, with no apparent common ground. That's a cruel thing to say. Our classmates are really all serious, you know. Who do you think I'm talking about? And because she couldn't comprehend it, she hesitated to hate him more than she did. She couldn't shake the worry that she was operating under some enormous misunderstanding. Because what... This came probably because of the yesterday conversation when she overheard TAKEYA. She thinks like she should know him better before judging. Besides, so I wonder since when Haruki is in love with Toma. Because we know from the White Album that he's been in love with her for a while, but we don't know exactly time period. He doesn't behave like he's in love with her right now, but we know that this happened before these things. So he's just like hiding his feelings at this point. Toma is not in love with him yet. So she fell in love with him during the introductory chapter. Basically. After hearing like TAKEYA and like everything that developed. So, yeah, somewhere around when like she's been like invited to the music room and stuff, that's when she like decided to give him a shot probably. But since when that was the thing for Haruki? Still don't know that. Can't say. But he said it's been before. Maybe from the first time when he saw her and he was like pestering her in the beginning when she was like so annoyed about him. Like, well, maybe that was like love from the first sight or something. Or maybe it was earlier. Well, hopefully it will be like suggested or explained sooner or later. Yeah. Wait, I'm recording 1 hour now? Wait, this is our episode already? Holy Jesus. I don't know if I will cut this online. I have no idea. I'm just reading. Also, yeah, like I said, like there's 2 novels, like these like digital novels that are long. Okay? So don't worry. Like also this is going to a separate playlist. It's going to the playlist, like the main White Album playlist, but it's going to have like counting from 1 basically, because I will treat this as like separate thing that you don't really have to like watch or anything, but I would highly recommend like watch in order basically, or read in order. But I would like to have this like on separate playlist as well, if like any of you would like to find just these, for example. So these are going to be like special stories, specials, extras, something like that. Anyway, yeah. Besides, the school is affiliated with the university, so you can write down enrolling Hojo University. What if I just skip some stuff that we already read in the novel? Maybe I'm going to skip these? I'm not sure. There's just no way I'm going there. She muttered to herself, pretending to talk back while looking into his face. Casually, but deliberately, with upturned eyes. Ah. So, you don't want to lie? I'm more sincere than I thought, I'm impressed. Okay, I can't just keep reading this because there's like different sentence and like Kazusa perspective after like some dialogues. So I cannot just like not reading this. Okay. She muttered to herself, pretending to talk back while looking at his face casually. Yeah. So you don't want to lie. Don't jump to your own conclusions and see me in a better light. It's annoying. No matter how hard I look at him, he's just average. Completely ordinary. He's not ugly enough to make me want to look away, nor is he handsome enough to make me stare at him. Granted, guys in either of those extremes probably make less than 1% of all men. She have thoughts. So around this time she started thinking about him. If you don't want people to reevaluate your opinion on you, just going along with flowed out better, you know? What they're saying. But maybe he's just a tiny bit above average. So maybe he's like 5.5 or 6 instead of just 5. Wow. Okay. I love her internal monologue. Look, that way people wouldn't be so impressed when you give a rare display of good conduct and evaluate you more normally, right? I have no intention of letting anyone evaluate me. As proof, I might not be captivated by him, but look at him up this close isn't terrible either. That tsundere is waking up. Actually, I could probably keep on looking at him like this. Okay, I don't recommend filling out those forms during the class. If you can try to get it done before the first bell, you really are. No, maybe it's a mistake for me to try to make the judgment in the first place. I never concern myself with the guys my age, or any age for that matter. Not even those who might be my father. I don't have an interest in myself, let alone other people. Why would I try to evaluate someone else? But in that case, where should I look instead? What should I use to decide what's good or bad about him? And what kind of effect will the outcome of the decision have on me? I love this part. I did not expect that like this, like from a visual novel, this part when we like Haruki was like being annoying Kazusa about filling up the form. It was actually that deep from her perspective. I'm actually really glad I'm reading this. I was concerned how important that this whole thing is. It is actually awesome. I wonder if we're going to have something about Setsuna and stuff like this. If like you can have more understanding about like Setsuna behavior as well because of this. Like with this like novel formats. Huh. I wonder how many of you who's like watching this, I mean, maybe you're not watching this, basically because you're not interested in this, who knows. But I wonder how many of you played only visual novel and totally like miss the extra, the PDF files, the novels that were like in the game, so in the game files. I wonder how many of you just like totally discredited this. Let me know in the comments if you read these or you didn't even knew that they exist. I wonder. On the other hand, like I said, I don't know how it will go, how it will do. Like, maybe if you never played this, you will not even watch this. So you will never know that this exists. But if you never watch this and like think they are cool, you can always like tell others that these things exist and they are important. Maybe this will like change evaluation, like their evaluation of the characters in the White Album. Who knows? Maybe they will like, maybe they hate like Kazusa, for example, and they will start liking her. Maybe they hate Setsuna and they start liking her. Who knows? Like, I don't know what like in these novels, but who knows? You know, it seems to be actually quite character development pieces, and only 2 are long apparently, like I said. And this is first that is long. Anyway, this is like reading introductory chapter for the 3rd time, but from like Kazusa perspective. I mean, we had from Kazusa perspective kinda introductory chapter in rereading, but this is like totally different. Anyway, well, this decision could have an effect on the rest of your life, so you can think about it for a little longer. I will leave it up to you then. Huh? Suddenly returned to herself because Hardy dropped her eyes on the paper in front of her and started writing intently. Oh, good, good. An own revolution at how she was acting and thinking had sent a chill down her spine. That's why she started quickly reading. Also, wow, Haruki just like, I just realized Haruki just like got perfectly into her thought process. What outcome would that decision have on me? And she was talking about like judging Haruki, and he's like, oh yeah, this decision will affect the rest of your life. He just went like perfectly in her thought process here. That's why she like instantly was like, oh wait, what the fuck? Okay, let's just read. Let's write. Let's write. Kind of revolution. She was like, yeah, okay. She was acting like some little girl staring at the young man who was right in front of her and letting thoughts of him run through her mind. Kitahara? Okay, is there something you are not sure how to fill out? I will ask as you do. I will do as you ask, so you can at least listen to one of my requests. Now, of course, is there anything bothering you? I'm sure I can help. If I ignore you from now on, don't worry about it. I'm just extremely annoyed and disgusted. I see. Okay. Ridiculous. I can't be interested in someone. That's completely ridiculous. Okay, self-denial. Okay. I see. Here, I'm done. Take it. Well, don't throw it at me. You should throw it. You should turn it over first. Okay. Also, she's not speaking about Haruki here. Annoyed and disgusted. She's speaking about her own thoughts here. Just realize that. I don't care who idolizes this guy. It doesn't matter how much appeal he has as a person. This is a problem that exerts absolutely no influence on the world I live in. Okay, I don't really care if you look at it. I just wrote enrolling to Hojo University. Like you said. Are you going to? Who knows? I see. If I don't keep the distinction, it will only get me in trouble. The over-familiar way he's acting is abnormal in the first place. If I go easy on him, there's no knowing how he might take advantage of me. So she's still like defensive and being influenced by her past and everything else, right? Even though Haruki is not behaving like she thinks, she's still affected by TAKEYA words as well. But she still thinks that he's like probably going to take advantage of her because of her fame, money, I don't know, family, stuff like this, like everyone else did before. She's still like holding her guard up here at this point. Are we done here? I'm going to back to sleep then. Oh, sorry, one last thing. What? I get it. From now on, I won't mind if you ignore me or anything. Yeah, okay. She had meant to down the line, and yet, the moment she heard his words of resignation, another flicker of displeasure appeared on Hazusa's face. Aww. So please, don't hold it against me if I keep on rambling anyway, Toma. Huh? She had meant to draw the line. And yet, the moment she heard his words, entirely lacking in resignation, blatant displeasure splashed itself all over Hazusa's face. Good morning, Toma. Good weather we're having today, huh? Wait, what? Did that happen in the game? I think like she opened eyes and stopped because like what he said, and she was like so surprised. Yeah. Now we know why she was like that. I mean, we have like more context, I guess. Okay, just wait a second, Kitahara. That's not how the promise. I will do as you ask. So it's only fair that you listen to one of my requests. Wait, this isn't just one thing. How shameless can you be? Toma, don't tell me you've noticed just that now. Kazusa cursed. She cursed her own foolishness of being lenient with someone that's irritating and over-friendly. Over the course of the next month, Kazusa gradually came to understand that those who depended on Kitahara Haruki and those who avoided him were divided into two groups, with clear trends. Okay. As Kazusa was a newcomer to the regular program this year, she struggled at first to get a clue, but once she realized it, it was conclusion easily reached just by looking over the student roster handed out each year. It wasn't a matter of genders, grades or personality, but rather of a makeup of the last year classes and a year before last year's. That is to say, a difference between those who had experienced being in class with him before as first or second year students and those who hadn't. Yeah, the matter of experience. And how much do you know him? The latter tries to distance themselves from Kitahara Haruki, hated the way he meddled, reacted negatively to his lectures, and were utterly exasperated with the way he continued to involve himself with them regardless. And the former had given up on trying to fight Kitahara Haruki from the get-go and trusted him fully. What demonstrates this clearly to her was some trouble that got stirred up with the boy who sat in front of her, whom Kitahara called Hayasaka. Do I know any Hayasaka from the game? I don't remember. It's probably name or surname, I don't know. Hayasaka, who had been appointed as a sports day committee at the class endorsement against his will, had been skipping required meetings, neglecting to make preparations, and even with the event a mere week away, the players participating in each match had yet been decided on. In other words, he had created an absolutely wretched situation. Okay. I'm starting having troubles reading, so I'm probably going to cut and maybe like start reading again tomorrow or something. That will just take a break, but we'll see. In this moment of crisis for this class, Kitahara swooped in and backed him up completely without any fuss or panicking. Yeah. After I finish, I think this thought process, I will take a little break. Well, maybe the ratio of the arrangements okay, sorry. Well, maybe the ratio of the arrangements he made was a little bit too high to call it backing up. Kihara attended all the necessary meetings in Hayasaka's place. Pff, Jesus. Finished getting the program in order. Got the private. Finished getting the program in order. Got the private consent of all the main members to select the athletes, and on his own brought things to the point at which all that remained was the clan's white vote. And after carrying all of this out silently, he at last broke his silence and began lecturing Hayasaka at length after homeroom. Hayasaka, who had completely humiliated himself, refused to back down, even though he was plainly entirely in the wrong. And rather than just ignore Kihara's lecture, he lashed back outright, bringing the atmosphere to an explosive state. Kihara didn't fight back, however, nor did he even act shocked. He just earnestly pointed out all of his problems and suggested that they work on the sports day together. I can see why people got like irritated by him. But yeah, he's a good guy. But unable to back down, once he had gone on the offensive, Hayasaka got even more heated. And those who remained optimistic in this critical situation were the former of the two groups mentioned above. Kitahara, previous victims, who had been in class with him before, yeah. They had known from the start how to get along with Kitahara, and they understood him extraordinarily well. That's why they didn't freak out over the incident and accommodated Hayasaka. At least they treated him as best as they could, with the circumstances remaining up in the air. Yeah, this is cool. Like, I never realized that this is actually a thing with Haruki. Like, there are like two different groups of people. Like, basically people who knew him for a while are just like looking at people that are annoyed by him, and they're like laughing basically in their minds, like, oh, I've been like this before. Oh, I've been so stupid, like trying to fight Haruki. Oh, good times. Okay, this is cool. Yeah, okay. Best they could. All they could offer was support. That wasn't really support. Getting angry is pointless. If you take everything he says seriously, you will end up pulling all your hair out. He wants the short end of the stick, so please just settle this now. 1 week later, settled these problems, sports day took place. That day, Kazusa came to understand yet another thing. After skipping all of the events and killing time in the music room too, she looked out the window at the evening schoolyard and saw a group of the noisy third-year students entering the post-sport day grounds with drinks. The most boisterous among them were from their own Class E. And the most roast up all of them, Hayasaka, had a drink in one hand, probably tea, and his other hand was slung around Kitahara, who was drinking something quietly, probably tea. Oh, they became friends. Isn't... Okay, I don't know. I don't remember. Is Hayasaka the guy that was like... Isn't the guy that is like voiced by Archer or something? I forgot his name. Or maybe this is someone totally else. I forgot. I don't know. You can tell me if we had him. It looked like from here, like Kitahara was lecturing him about something the same as ever, but now Hayasaka, as if in a scant few days, he had come to understand. Simply let it pass smoothly, roaring with laughter. At least wait until you've known him for half a year before you judge him. Yep, the things that... Takeya. God damn it, Takeya is such a goat, actually. everything started with Takeya. If not for Takeya, then Kazusa would never fall in love with Haruki, probably. Holy shit! Kazusa didn't want to remember what the shallow guy had said, but it came back to her anyway. Starting the next week, the vibe in the classroom was markedly different. The stiffness in the air between Haruki and a certain group of students vanished, and all they began turning to him readily, pushing the most trivial things to him, and letting the forthcoming lectures from him go in one ear and out the other, laughing every time. Were that all, there might have been the negative possibility of his falling to the status of the class handyman. However, the attitude and the mood of those all around was frightfully bright, with no sarcasm or spite anymore, and any inclination of ridicule or reject his sincerity had been purged. And most notably, Hayasaka, one of the primary parties concerned, had begun to address Kitahara as Haruki, and in response, Kitahara had been, "This is Chiha." Okay, this is actually Chihashi. Okay, Chihashi I know. So this is the guy that was like voiced by Archer. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So this is this guy. So we... Oh my god, so like he hated Haruki guts in the beginning. We only knew his good side, like being one of the bad in school in introductory chapter. We never saw this. Wow. Okay. Everyone acknowledged Kitahara Haruki as an indispensable member of the class. Actually, probably none of them were aware of that constructive shift in sentiment. They all assumed that they were handling their nagging class rep the same as they always had. Kazusa was the only one who recognized the change in the atmosphere as a change, because she was the least necessary person in the class, the only outsider watching the sports day event from the high up, and the guy who spent the most time looking at the Kitahara Haruki. I have chills from the story. For the past while, Kazusa had never taken her eyes off him. Okay, let me take a little break before I continue. Oh, wow. Okay, while taking break, I edited and uploaded the prologue episode, and I have to re-upload this again, because on this whole playlist that I have in the background, it appears like there's 2 songs that are copyrighted, so yeah. I'm probably not going to play them, but anymore, at least in the future. But yeah, they're like in the beginning of the playlist basically, so anyway, not problem for you, just some problem for me. Yeah, let's just continue. And this is, as I checked like how many pages do I have for the end of this like chapter. This is not that many, so I think like we are going to have like full chapter in one episode. So these are going to be long episodes. I don't know how many chapters this thing have, to be honest, but I assume 3, judging by the length of this one. But we'll see. Let me just continue. For you, that's been just a cut. For me, like, I don't know how much time. It's the same day though. Making use of the fact that she was ignored by the rest of the class, she made a big show pretending to nap during class or during breaks, face down desk, while through the gasp between her arms she watched the side of his face and picked all the voices whispering around him. Okay, she's always been faking the sleep. Oh wow. Had her mother, who had poured so much money into the skills she cultivated through playing the piano, by the depth of view, acuteness of fear, knowing that they were being put to this kind of use. What would she have thought? Leaving that aside, Kazusa cut down on her precious sleeping time to write the following report on Kitahara. Okay. Kitahara Haruki leaves a terrible first impression on everyone he meets. This is because people instinctively avoid his repulsive personality. Anyone who holds a favorable impression of him from the start either has a very strange taste or is an idiot. Such a person has never shown up and will never show. Wow. Okay. However, he overturns that first impression in a matter of days and wins the approval of everyone around him. He makes this happen through careful, meticulous persuasion, using dirty, cowardly tricks like the devil itself. He deliberately causes trouble within the group that includes him, and by resolving the trouble himself, he flips around the other person's assessments of him. Huh. Smart. People put him on such a high pedestal because his troublesome nature aggrandizes his act of good conduct. In addition, because everyone's spirits are swept up in the midst of the incident, they can make level-headed decisions. In the way, he steadily increases his supporters, and before you know it, he comes to rule the group. Kazusa was of no mind to present those dreadful research results anywhere, nor to try to save any of the people whom Kitahara had tainted. After all, her research of him was all the way to kill time. Is it just only that? Huh, Kazusa? Yes, these were terrifying truths, but as long as none of the dust fell off Kazusa, it wasn't her business or her problem. As long as she kept her head down and slept in class, erasing her own presence as much as possible, she wouldn't come under his influence, and neither would she be targeted by his devotees. She was optimistic about this. Okay, good morning, Toma. Happy birthday. Wow. Wait, it's today, right? May 28th? Yeah, happy birthday. Well, mine's in April, so I won't treat you as my elder or anything. This is so close. God damn it. My birthday is almost at the same day as Kazusa's. I think I forgot to mention that, or did we never know this? Like, I have 29th. Like, literally, god damn it, I was so close. So yeah, if you're like watching White Album, then you just learned a new thing about me, I guess. So when he spoke to her that day, she walked away at the pace brisker than usual, fighting back the urge to scream, What the hell did you find that out, you stalker? 2 days later, when she saw Kitahara giving birthday greetings to another classmate, she recalled anew. He was just like that with everyone, yeah, exactly. And without getting excessively self-conscious, she experienced a deep sense of relief. So much relief, in fact, that she found herself kicking the classroom trash can with all her might. Nice. She had meant to continue on like that, not drawing attention, always ignoring Kitahara no matter how many times he came and talked to her, but circumstances did not progress the way Kazusa wanted. The ones he had brainwashed had started looking at her with lukewarm eyes. In fact, she had actually started to hear people muttering disgusting things like, "We can just leave Toma-san to Kitahara-kun." Yeah, Toma cannot win against Haruki. In particular, when she heard these lines slip out from the female students, who normally desperately called him Mr. Class Rep, even Kazusa, who was so aloof and solitary, lost sleep from the despair of being left behind. With all of this, the number of classmates who spoke to her clearly decreased. With all of this, her irritation with a certain classmate, the only one who spoke to her, increased rapidly. Of course. Kitahara had gotten support from his devotees when it came to handling matters related to her. And being the responsible, the dutiful person he was, he spoke to Kazusa almost every day, interfered with her life, worried over her, advised her, in an attempt to protect her on various fronts, from teachers and school. Yeah. Kazusa found herself driven in the corner, under such stress that she had considered more than once yelling, "What, are you into me or something?" Probably he is at this point. We don't know since when, but it's definitely like longer than you are into him, probably, I think. But we didn't get a perfect timeline for this. Songs can like opening and the ending, I guess, like mostly opening can like give us indication that maybe it was like way before like high school. Anyway, at him ripping his pride and her own image to shreds, pouring lethal derision into both of them. Okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna talk to this idiot just once. I will tell him not to bug me anymore, not to talk to me anymore. I will tell him never to try to see me again. And if he still refuses to comply, I will just resolve it with force. Because this is my limit. I'm on the verge of telling him everything that's on my mind. Okay, Toma, how much of the burden do you plan to put on Kitahara? Oh? Someone else spoke to him, to her. Okay, that's unexpected for her. Huh? As Kazusa held these thoughts, interference on Kitahara's behalf came to her from somewhere she never would have imagined. Suwa-sensei? I appreciate your concern, but I'm her homeroom teacher and... Oh? Wait, what? Suwa-sensei. Who's that? One of the teachers, I guess. So, some teacher came here to the classroom where like the other, like during the class or something. It was a day in the early summer after the end term of exams were over, and the momentary relief had spread through the students. Kazusa called to the staff room, was left briefly dumbstruck by this unexpected name coming from the unexpected party. This is what happens when you... Oh, this is from the game as well. Yeah. So we just skipped like basically like we had like full thought process from Kazusa, but we didn't have like part from Haruki perspective here, basically, because they were like called to the I think together. They were called together to that meeting with teachers. Yeah, I remember that. I remember this part. This is what happens when you keep giving her a special treatment like this. Toma isn't a prize student of the music program anymore. She's the bottom of the regular program. Yeah, I remember this. Unless this is some other way, like time, but I think this is the thing that we had in the game. Oh, well... Of course she could imagine the reason for her being called. She had heard that she was the only one in her class, in her entire year in fact, who had managed to fail her exams in every single subject. It's like you're forcing him to take care of you in everything. I didn't ask, I didn't care, I never asked him to. I didn't care. And of course she also understood why things had turned out that way. She hadn't prepared for classes, hadn't reviewed, she hadn't even listened in the class. Always sleeping at her desk, or pretending to sleep while diligently observing her neighbor. It would have been impossible for her to get more than 30 points on her exams. I understand you made Kitahara apologize for the fact that you were the only one who didn't submit your guidance counseling form on time. No, this is wrong. And you made him lie for you too? This is wrong. He said you mistook the deadline. That's Haruki part. Like, Haruki decided to cover for Kazusa here. I said it during this episode, I think, like, I hate like these teachers, how they treat Kazusa there. That was horrible. No, I didn't. The class rep decided to do this on his own. So you're putting all this on him? You are taking advantage of the fact that Kitahara stuck up for you to make everything his fault, and you're just fine with that? Hoo. But in that sense, she wasn't happy at all about being dragged in and blamed for something Kitahara did. When he was one of the reasons she had been too distracted to study. Also, Hojo University? Are you joking? Do you think for 1 second that you'll be able to get the recommendation? The class rep said I could just put anything. Listen to that. Shifting blame again. I hated these guys. They were annoying in the game and they are annoying here. Oh my god, the scene is triggering me so much. Furthermore, the guidance counselor Suwa had been Kazusa's natural enemy since a year before. Yeah, I will not talk about these teachers like now because I've talked about them before and I don't want to go into this rabbit hole anymore. They're just horrible. I hate them. You can't keep acting like you're still in a music program. It's causing us nothing but trouble. How long are you going to keep dragging out your first year glory? Even since the music program as a whole had started to give up on Kazusa, she and Suwa had clashed countless times. He drew a line, in a sense, between himself and the other teachers, who took one look at Kazusa's face and couldn't say anything, even though she was nothing more than a student. He gave all of his advice to her straight, no matter how harsh, holding nothing back. And the thing he said was in fact pretty fair and reasonable. Okay. Interesting. Now, whether Kazusa actually listened to any of it, or spending any time reflecting on it, that was a different story. When she interpreted his advice as nastiness, his open attitude as arrogance, his reasoning as pretty fault-finding, the mere presence of the single awful middle-aged teacher caused Kazusa misplaced resentment to take even a deeper root. Huh. Did I mistake the whole situation? You are admitted here, because we had hopes for your prospects as the pianist. We shouldn't have let you transfer in the first place. I mean, you could just expel me. If you don't need my family financial contributions, then by all means. Huh, what kind of student talks like that? What kind of guidance counselor talks like that? Yeah. Sensei, why don't we end this here for today? Toma seems to be reflecting on her actions. Is this how people act when they're reflecting on their actions? Who are you accusing of reflecting? She could have said that aloud, but the idea of talking Sua's inflammatory bait made her feel like he was manipulating her, and she wasn't interested in that. You don't need to tell me. After slamming the faculty room door shut, Kazusa stormed down the hallway, unable to dispel her anger. Okay, maybe only Kazusa was there. Yeah, I thought like Haruki was there because they mentioned Haruki in this conversation. My mistake. True. They just said that he took a blame. Yeah. With her comparatively high stature for a girl, long slender arms and necks, and model-like figure, Kazusa took long strides, making a picture that normally would have been captivated any underclassman who didn't know what she was really like, but the expression plastered to her face did her no favors in terms of elegance. Yeah. I've never heard of the student being allowed to just use the music room alone whenever she likes. I never asked for it. You all just offered it to me. If your mother could see you now. This has nothing to do with my mother. If I were in your place, I would feel unbearably guilty for saddling my teachers and parents with you. I'm not like you. Either dedicate yourself to studying or keep up with everyone else, or you don't have to tell me. I've had enough of this place anyway. So she was about to give up here. She was about to give up a school, like, entirely. She was about to, like, drop here in this moment after this conversation with teachers. And here is Haruki for the rescue, I guess. Oh hey, Toma! There you are. After she had gone to all the trouble to make herself look unapproachable, the same guy approached her anyway, not paying attention to her face, nor reading her mood, not thinking at all. It was the end of the term ceremony, so he should be long since gone home. Okay, what did they say? It seems like they were showing you out for a pretty long time. What did they say? It was awful. And yeah, like I said, like, I hated that conversation so much. After taking over, her homeroom teacher had carried on like Sua's yes man, and told her not to cause any more trouble for Kitahara, which only fueled Kazusa's irritation even more. Still, did you actually use my notes? At least 80% of the questions included material from them. Yeah, about that. She did not prepare at all. Everyone in the faculty room was on the class rep side. Just as Kazusa had once been the pride of the music program, he was the current pride of the regular program. Wow. So this is interesting. Like I said before that Setsuna and Kazusa like situations were similar, not the same but similar, right? In different ways, but they like have like similar circumstances, basically, like how they are treated at school, how they feel about this and stuff. But I never thought about it that Kazusa may see Haruki like in Haruki herself a little bit. Like he's the pride of the regular program and I be the pride of the music program. I never thought about this. This is very interesting. You all take supplementary exams, right? And though she was a member of the normal course now, Elsa had managed to become normal. From the special prize pupil to special disappointment. Also, at this point she still doesn't know that Haruki is the one that plays horrifyingly bad on guitar. When did she find out that this is Haruki who plays this? That was, I think it was in the White album in the game somewhere. I think when he tried to recruit Kazusa, he told her that, but I'm not sure. From a special prize pupil to a special disappointment. The teachers, her classmates, the class rep. No one would just let Kazusa be. That's okay though. One school time should be enough to recover. We've got summer break coming up too, so it's completely possible. If you would like, I can... Huh? Yeah. Kazusa's just like in shock. Therefore, just as always, Kazusa bared her fangs at them all. She pierced Kitahara with the gaze so cold that even she thought it might be too much. A bit much, then erased the expression, and passed right by him as nobody were there. Thoma? All Kitahara could do now was watch her leave dumbfounded. This nosy boy, this clueless idiot, was frozen just as he had been when they first met. Kazusa believed, and therefore, that would be finally the end. That he would never try to speak to her again. How mistaken. If such friendliness were returned with such a vicious resentment, then surely anyone would. Baka. Even Kazusa wasn't sure whenever the word was directed at him or at herself. That day, a furious performance could be heard from the music room too. Okay? The loud, recklessly fast rhythm reverberating across the whole schoolyard through the open window caused sport club members to stop their practice several times. staring up at the bewilderment of the third floor, though the end of the term ceremony might be over, and even through summer break might have begun, Kosa was still the master of the music room too. Is this the part? I think that was in the game. I think that was the part where, like, Haruki was like, oh, the piano usually is like following me basically, but today it's like showing me like I suck. I think that was this part. There was something like this. When Kazusa just like went like crazy on piano. I think this is this time. Then, although it was thoughtfully drowned out by the piano, the guitar part from Smoke on the Water through blew faintly in the wind. As Soa had said, Music Room 2 was the emblem of Kazusa's tyranny. By the simple fact of her being here and playing piano, there were people who experienced antipathy, people who were inconvenienced, people who suffered loss. But she could no longer leave this place, because in the whole of the school, this was the only place where she belonged. This is sad. Her fingers couldn't keep with pace with her feelings, couldn't regulate the force with which she struck the keys, and her sense of pain started to go numb. Not just because her skill had decayed, but because today Kazusa was clearly extraordinarily lit up. The guitar moved on to Nogori Yuki, disregarding the season. Summer break would start tomorrow, on this critical day. Kazusa wished to be alone, with this, alone was finally granted. She had managed to remove the single person who talked to her, the tiresome class rep. For more than a month, they wouldn't see each other, and he would be unable to bridge the gap, and had formed between them in that time. And after that, the distance would just keep growing. Oh, you are so mistaken. She would probably be able to make it all the way to graduation without any more barging in. So Kazusa forgot all about what had already happened and turned her thoughts to tomorrow and thereafter, to summer break, when she could fully savor being alone. Maybe we'll go on a trip or something. Some tiny little space, not even big enough to be called town, where no one knows me. Shut myself away in whatever place I'm staying all day long, engulfed in the darkness of solitude. Ordinary days, no different from the usual. Wow, actually this is huge. Look at that, like she's trying to escape, right? Like thinking about escaping, like I'll go a trip, right? Tiny place, no one knows me, somewhere I can shut myself, being alone, darkness, solitude, sadness, and that will be just ordinary day, like usual. That would be no different from what she's doing now. This is sad. Oh wow. She have even no means of escaping from this. Her only escape is like to actually bond with other people at this point. At some point, the piano sound had stopped. As she was picturing this delightful vacation, her fingers had stopped moving. For some reason, the loneliness that she had brought upon herself with her own two hands was horribly painful. The guitar moved as it always did to White Album. It's crappy. Yep. The corners of Kazusa's mouth twitched up as she muttered this, but the area around her eyes was distorted in a way that couldn't really be called smiling. It was the same terrible guitar she had heard through the term, having seemingly made little improvement, if any at all. He would continue with those disharmonious, selfish practice sessions by his lonesome, cutting into Kazusa's performances over and over, making mistake after mistake, not giving up when she stopped, and losing some heart while she was in the middle of playing. Even though it was obviously a disruption to her, now and then it seems as if the other sound was trying to accompany her, and she has been shocked countless times by its shows of egoism, but almost Oh, interesting. Almost. His performance of White Album today managed to scrape by with no mistakes. Albert just barely. Oh, she's proud of him. She doesn't know who, but she's proud. Light began returning to her stationary fingers. Little by little, she began to feel like she might be able to play just one more song. Right now, the only thing by Kazusa's side was the clumsy guitar from the next door. Toma Kazusa hated the sky. She especially detested the deep blue sky immediately after the rainy season had ended, with its great billowing column of clouds. She hated teachers, students, everything in the world around her. She especially detested the over-familiar male student, whom she wasn't going to see for a little while. But the small bit of noise, Toma Kazusa didn't hate that much. I love this chapter. Oh, wow. Okay. You know what? I think I will actually be doing this as the long normal episodes per week, probably. Like 2 times a week. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I will actually record them more often, because I have specially prepared scene for this, as you can see. And I probably would like to just record ahead with this, probably, so I can free my stuff for other things. Anyway, let me know in the comments what do you think about this chapter. Did this chapter give you some new light on Kazusa and Haruki's situation? I think it did for me. I didn't know a lot of stuff that happened here. We didn't get to know the thoughts of Kazusa really on the matter, and Takeya is the GOAT. If you think about this, Takeya enabled White Album 2. Takeya basically made it happen. Also, Takeya is the source of all the pain. If not for Takeya, Kazusa wouldn't be there. God damn it, Takeya, I don't know if I should be glad that you've been overheard, or I should not like you. Yeah, burgers are cooking. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Click the like button if you like the episode. Subscribe for more, check my Discord, and become a member if you'd like to support me and see episodes earlier. Thank you once again, and for a Pocket Watch, it's going out.